another episode of Reading the Wrong Way. So it's been a while since my last review video, and I'm really sorry about it. I've been really busy with a lot of projects, and my biggest one was going to TorahCon 2013. It was definitely worth the trip. I had a lot of fun, and I got to meet some of my favorite voice actors like Todd Haberkorn and John Swayze and Mike McFarland. Anyways, so I think it's about time that I review my favorite group of mangaka, Clamp, to make up for my absence. I think most of you have probably heard of Clamp at least at one point or another. For me, Clamp really embodies what I love so much about manga in general. It takes a great storyline and pairs it with gorgeous art to create something that's highly enjoyable and reaches out to a lot of different people. If you haven't read Clamp, I suggest you give them a try. They have works that cater to both male and female readers, and several of them are meant for multiple age groups. If you have read their works, perhaps you'll discover one you missed or one that you wish to revisit. I'll briefly introduce you to the series that I personally own by them. We'll go in order of their publication dates to make it easier. Because many of the series are older, you will most likely want to purchase them used online. You'll also find that many of the series are being re-released in omnibus form, so look into those when you're considering purchasing them. If you don't know what omnibus is, it's essentially 3 manga volumes in one. The publisher takes the first 3 volumes of a series and releases them in one single volume, followed by the next 3 volumes, so on and so forth. They're usually much larger than the regular size series, and they usually contain a lot of bonus artwork from magazines and ads that the series was in. If you buy a complete series in omnibus, I've also found that you generally save probably about the price of 1 volume per omnibus you buy. So it's really a really good deal if you can find the series you're looking for in that format, and not just in Clamp. There are a ton of series that are produced in omnibus, like Fullmetal Alchemist and Rurouni Kenshin are some that are now being produced in that format. So you should definitely try to look into that. The first series in order that I own is Clamp School Detectives. I'm going to admit I haven't had the chance to read this series yet. It's sitting on my bookcase waiting for me to get to it. From what I do know about it, it's a comedy series about 3 elementary school boys trying to help girls in distress around their school. It's rated A for all ages, so I'm just going to assume that there's nothing too terrible in it. It's completed in 3 volumes and there isn't an omnibus release, so this is one you'd probably want to find used. It sounds really adorable, and I promise that someday I'm going to read this series. The next series is X, also known as X1999. This is a major shift from the last series. It's rated OT for older teens, and with good reason. I picked this series up at the convention, having only ever heard the name, knowing nothing else about it. A lady near the checkout looked at me and said, "Oh, that series." I wasn't quite sure what she meant by that, and she said, "Well, let's just say you won't be disappointed." I knew I wouldn't be, of course, because I really love Clamp's work, so what could be so bad? I got home and read the first book and immediately realized what that woman was probably referring to. This series is extremely graphic. If you can't stomach drawings of dismembered bodies and talk about the end of the world, this is definitely not the series for you. Violence and gore aside, this series still has me hooked. The storyline is so compelling that by the 3rd omnibus, nothing about the artwork really surprised me because the story had drawn me in so deeply. It is essentially a story about good versus evil, a boy who has the ability to either save the world or to destroy it. Tough choice. It can be a little bit confusing at times, and you'll be able to get through several pages quickly because they keep repeating things over and over and over. But I'm still enjoying it, and I already have the other 2 pre-ordered. It's rated T+ for the reasons I've mentioned above, as well as nudity and violence in general. There were originally 18 volumes, and the omnibus is currently being published with a total of 6. Though I haven't finished the series since I didn't read the original release, I have read that Clamp never finished the work, so don't expect a completed ending. The next series is a little more lighthearted. Consider it a palate cleanser after you've just read about X. This is Wish. This is an adorable series that I will always hold dear to my heart. It's about an angel living with a human after he saves it. Angels are genderless. From harm. This series has a cute, lighthearted romance with many oddball characters thrown in for comedic relief. It combines elements from both Western and Eastern culture into one gorgeous and sweet series. It's rated T, I'm assuming because Kohaku, the main angel, is genderless. Some readers could view it as a shonen ai series if they view Kohaku as a male. There wasn't any violence to speak of, and whenever there was fighting, it was usually an adorable argument or just plain silly. This isn't yaoi, by the way, so if you're a parent that's heard the stories about yaoi, this isn't that. Shonen Ai usually focuses more on the relationships between two males. It doesn't show anything graphic. Clamp's kind of been known for having several close male relationships in their series. Not all of them necessarily romantic, but they could be viewed that way by fans. One of the most notable ones is Toya and Yukito, I believe his name was, from Cardcaptor Sakura. I haven't seen the series in years, but it still sticks in my mind. So, there's nothing graphic in it. It could just be an implication. Me, myself, I saw Kohaku as a female. But it's all basically up to your mind. I think that's really why it had the T rating. Anyways, this series is 4 volumes long and it doesn't have an omnibus release, so this is another one that you'll probably want to buy used. The next series is Clover. My sister actually found this one in a bookstore, and again, I've never heard of it. I was very pleasantly surprised. The story is about a dystopian future and a government project involving children with special powers. The artwork, as always, is gorgeous and captivating, but the storyline can be extremely confusing. My first time reading through, I didn't quite understand what was happening, but after the second, and definitely the third time I revisited it, the plot kinda came together a little bit more easily. Like X, this series has no real ending, but in this case I didn't think it was necessarily needed. I understood enough of the story to kinda create my own ending. This series is rated T+, with a bit of violence and some sexual scenes, though nothing too graphic, rather it's more implied. This was completed in one omnibus series. The next series is Chobits. This was the first Clamp series I ever read and I still love it. It's about an unlucky student who finds a beautiful android, or persocom, named Chi in the garbage by his apartment. The story focuses on their relationship and him teaching her how to live in the world. It's a sweet and pretty innocent series with many memorable characters and a lot of comedy in it. It's rated OT for older teens, I'm assuming because there are references to sex and a peep show, as well as some nudity and crude humor. It was completed in 8 volumes originally, and the omnibus is completed with 2. The final series I want to discuss are Tsubasa, which I have already reviewed, and xxxHolic. I'll start with xxxHolic because I haven't read or watched the anime series. And yes, this right down here is Todd Haberkorn's autograph from the convention. Yay! I'm not entirely sure if I'll ever collect the manga series. I haven't really decided yet, but I am going to watch the anime series. I'm determined. So anyways, just a quick review of Tsubasa. It's about a group that travels through different worlds looking for memories that were taken from the princess in the group, though each character has his own personal reason for traveling as well. Tsubasa is one of those series that just astonishes me because of its complexity. It not only crosses over in storylines with xxxHolic, but characters from almost every other Clamp series make appearances in the Tsubasa universe. To name a few from the series I've reviewed right now, the 3 boys from Clamp School Detectives, Subaru and Kamui from X, Oruha from Clover, and Chi from Chobits. The main characters also reflect the main characters of another Clamp series, Cardcaptor Sakura. You don't need to read any of these other series to understand Tsubasa. I read Tsubasa, I think, after only reading Chobits, and I still understood it completely. But I do admit that once I reread it, I'm really going to look forward to it now that I'm more familiar to the characters as they were in their original universes. This series was completed in 28 volumes, and xxxHolic with 19 volumes. I also own the 2 character guides, which really help with quick references and have a lot of neat bonuses about the series. Eventually, I plan on adding Cardcaptor Sakura and Tokyo Babylon to my collection. I watched the Cardcaptor Sakura anime when I was younger, and now that the manga is being re-released in omnibus format, I think it's a perfect time to revisit the series. X was sort of a spin-off of Tokyo Babylon, so I'd also really like to read that, but I'm going to be reading until it's released in omnibus as well. There are many other series Clamp has written besides the one that I mentioned, so I'll let you explore those on your own since I really haven't read any of them. Maybe someday, who knows. I really hope you enjoyed this video and are considering giving Clamp a chance, or perhaps revisiting a series that you've been meaning to reread. See you next time!
anymore. All I did was play. When I turned back, there was nothing to see. You closed your doors before I could open mine.